The next one, okay, see the speaker is already here, is by Marco Amato. Marco Amato, among many other things, is a pixel artist and IT consultant. He is member of the Mindtest, now Luanti organization, and his talk is about educational games that meet free software. And the name of the game is Pronto, Signor Muschio. Please, Marco. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm not that tall. Okay, so does it work? Yeah, great. Hello, I'll be super fast because there's a lot of things to talk about. So I'm Marco, or Zugi, and today we're going to talk about this game which translates to Hello, Mr. Musk, which is the main character of our game. And basically we had a client like EduLife and I, who wanted to basically experiment with what we call active methodologies. Active methodologies are basically not me explaining to you stuff, but using different techniques such as roleplay, debate, board games, or even video games to teach something. So we said, okay, why not, if you want a video game, like if the client wanted a video game, why not making an educational video game that is also free software? Like, we should set the good example if we want to talk about technology. And that's why, basically, we have Pronto, Signor Muschio. We had three topics, well, three main points, which are the theme. They wanted something about the digital world, but speaking about digital world is kind of, you know, a little bit too broad. So we pinned it down to misinformation. And the target is primary school, 9, 10-year-old students. And the budget, because we also have to talk about budgets, well, it was limited. I don't know if you know, but in order to make a professional video game nowadays, probably you need at least 30K, and having less than 10 is quite limiting. So we solved these issues by, well, making a game which is a narrative game. There is a story, you must follow the story in order to understand what is happening, and we don't want to give like notions to them like, okay, this is bad, this is good. We want students to reflect on the topics, on what the characters in the story say, because someone will say A, some other will say B, and it's up to us understanding what's really going on. That's actually the goal of the game. And we opted for something that is colorful and already known for them. We will see what I mean. And also something that is modular, because we can't really afford to reinvent the wheel. We need the wheel to make a vehicle, and that's how, basically, if we shake all these concepts, we obtain Luanti, which is something I use, and I also use as development, as a working, as a job, okay? And so in order to fix the first points, like the known, we chose Luanti because, well, as you can see, this is not Luanti, this is Minecraft. The graphics of Luanti are really similar. Like, they already know this voxel environment, so we don't have to explain them how it works, because somehow they already know what's that. And also, it's modular, because when using Luanti, you don't need to make everything by scratch, but it's like a lot of modules or a lot of bricks that you can put together. You will adjust them, of course, and you can obtain something with less effort, less money, but the result is as good as reinventing the wheel. So, speaking about known, this is a screenshot taken from the game, and as you can see, it's very colorful, and it's definitely voxelated, and we use that as a base, as a foundation to build more features. For instance, you can actually talk with characters. There are custom portraits, like pixel art I made, in order to add features upon what they know already. As you can see here, these were a few sketches about the art style we wanted to follow. And these are other characters that you'll meet during the game. And when I was saying modular, the game is made of 29 modules. But fun fact, 23 were not made by me, or well, by us, were 2 developers. Just 6 of them were tailor-made. And also, fun fact, out of those 23 pre-made modules, some of them were tweaked upstream, so everyone who was already using those modules for their own games, their own adventures, they received features for free because we needed those features, and we also collaborated to what was already there. So sharing is caring, basically. And the game, as I was saying, is about misinformation. So students are given this item, which is called comunicofono in Italian, which translates to communicaphone, but it doesn't really sound nice in English. And it's basically a smartphone where they can read the news every day in the game, and also they can read the comments, who are pretty relatable. Like, we didn't want to make the comments sound like, oh yeah, I totally agree with it. No, it's like, yeah, no, this government sucks and stuff like that. Because actually, when you open a social network, that's usually what you read. So it's better to learn this way than when using Instagram or whatever. Possibly not, but and so they can read the stories of the city throughout this through this item. And what's the plot? Basically, there are 3 cities, let's call them A, B, and C, and students are split into these 3 cities, and they can't communicate between each other. Like, the chat doesn't work, and I can't go, let's say I'm from city A, I can't go to city B, nor to city C. But the point is, they will find out that in order to progress in the game, they need information that is not in their city. So they will have to cooperate in the analog world in order to make some progress. And the basic plot is that there is this mysterious hiccup epidemic in one of the cities, and nobody knows why. And the rich tycoon, which is Mr. Muschio, which translates to Mr. Musk, is initially friendly, but with the passing of time, considering that the comunicofono is actually his invention, he will start spreading fear and misinformation around the 3 cities with his device. And yeah, basically it's up to you understanding what's happening. But, no but. Features, cooperative learning, as I was saying, we didn't want any competition, because competition can be good in some cases, but science basically tells us that in schools it's way better to cooperate rather than compete. So that's what we did. And also, as I was saying, you also need the analog sphere in order to make some progress. It's online, there is a main server, well, each per class/educator. And so we play at the same time in the same virtual space. It's narrative-based, and we put some cliffhangers because let's say, the plan is you have 3 classes, like 3 different classes with the school, with your class, whatever. And at the end of every class, there is a cliffhanger, so they want to know what happens next. Basically, they do it in TV series, in book chapters, so why not doing it also here? And also, teachers and educators decide when to go on. This is very important, because I don't know if you've ever put like a minor, like someone who's, I don't know, 10 in front of a computer, but what happens, they will stop listening to you. So if you want them to listen to you, you need to stop everything. That's why we put a control panel. This is an item that only teachers can actually have access to. And from here, they can do different stuff. I'm not gonna explain everything, but basically they control the phases, the different phases of the game. There are some phases where you can't really do much, so you are physically forced to listen, but some others, it's almost free gameplay, so they won't listen to you. In fact, these are the 5 phases every day in the game is made of, and nights, sunrise and end are phases where they're basically locked inside these apartments. They can't leave, so they can change their skin, okay, whatever, like at night. Basically, you use it to wait for the class, and so you can pick a skin just waiting. And at sunrise, you receive the news on the device we were talking about, but still you can't leave the space, the room. So the teacher can say, okay, do you have any comments about what you're reading? Like, let's discuss about this thing. And also during the day, it's where doors open, so you have to complete quests around the city and cooperate with the rest of your class and the other cities, basically. And sunset, it's when you go back to bed, and then that's it, because, well, the game will kick them out, basically. So, of course, the game is not only, well, the lesson, the class is not only the game is the main phase, of course, but you need an introduction and a debriefing phase as well, because especially the first time when you introduce the game for the first time, they need to understand what they are gonna play, and what's the main storyline, what's the plot, what they're supposed to do. Because if you don't, that's just recreation time. You don't want them to just have fun. They're supposed to learn something. Otherwise, it's not an educational game. It's just fun time. And also the other important part is the briefing, because, well, you're supposed to understand, like, listen to the class. Okay, what do you think about this? Usually, some student will say something really on point, and you can build upon that comment, and it will organically create a discussion, a debate in the class, which is very, very good. That's active methodologies in a nutshell, basically. So, yeah. What we did was a game to reflect on misinformation and the role that social networks, in this case the comunicofono, and proprietary software in general have on it. We also introduced them in the end to the concept of free software, because we want them to expand this concept on their own if they want to. We don't want to, like, shove anything into their brain, saying, okay, that's how it works, period. No, that's not good. And also, it's being used currently in some schools in Marche, which is an Italian region. And apparently, children are loving it, teachers are loving it. So that's not McDonald's anyway. So yeah. And if you want to know more about, well, this is the the first is the website of EduLife, which was the company I collaborated with to actually create this game, which is completely free software. The repositories are really online. You can look at the code, look at the assets, which are Creative Commons, and some mails. My mail, in case, is the last one, and that's it. I don't know if there are any questions. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, questions? Maybe a question from my side. How much does it take to train the teachers for using the game?
They are not training the teacher right now. We have a couple of educators. They belong to like a cooperative from Marche, and they do the whole lesson, basically. So the teacher just observes, and yeah, that's it. Also, we're working on documentation, so that everyone who'd like to try using these projects can actually use it on their own. What they need is basically someone who hosts the server, because you can't have the same server for everyone, or you will eventually will encounter some classes in the same time, and the game won't work because you need separate classes.
Okay. Thank you. Other questions about Mr. Muschio?
totally not a reference.
Some minutes ago, I received an email from Maker for Roma, who say me, "Oh wow, I have a contest about Minecraft. Who would like can with me?" I say no, because I know your work. Is not exactly a question. Is wow.
If I might add, considering since, well, 2 days ago, Luanti is officially it can operate as a fiscal host, so everyone can donate on Open Collective. Donations now are completely transparent. We're currently using that money to go to FOSDEM. If they accept us, we will know in a week. So, but yeah, transparency. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again, Marco, and an applause for you.